Alright, this is what you're going to use for your tumbling media. This is the stainless steel pins. What's nice about these are they are magnetic. Okay? Because what happens is these pins get everywhere. So to pick them up, magnet's a nice thing to have. Alright, here's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and tumble some 9mm. I have some 9mm down here. Just some nasty range brass. Got some nickel plated in there. You have to be careful. You don't want to let it sit too long in the water because the nickel plate, let's see, you don't need that in there. The nickel plate along with the brass will have a little bit of electrolysis going on, so you don't want to keep it in there too long. Okay? So what we want to do is go ahead and put it in our drum here. We've probably got maybe 500 or 600 in there. You can put more depending upon the size of your drum. Okay. Now what you want to do is you want to take your pins. This is 5 pounds of pins here. Just pour that in there. Okay, that's close enough. Okay. Now, what you need is, you need some of this lemon shine. You can get this at usually the local grocery store where they have dishwashing soap, things like that. You don't need a whole lot. Probably about a couple tablespoons. That goes in there. And then a little squirt of your favorite dish soap, just a little bit. And then you want to fill it up with water. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get some water. And go ahead and put your water in. Put your cap on. Nice and tight there. And then what you want to do, give it a good shaking. Get all those pins mixed around with your shells. And we're going to go ahead and mount it. And go ahead and start it up. And we're off and running. Let that run for about 2 or 3 hours. Alright, it's been about 2.5 hours since we started tumbling. It can be 2.5, 3 hours. Usually does a pretty good job. Just depends on how much you want to do it and what you want it to look like. So we just loosen that up. Take our drum out. Now comes our shiny shells along with our media. You're going to rinse off the soap and the lemon shine a little bit. Okay, next thing you want to do is get your media separator out. You can use a colander or something like this. Pour that right into there. Let's close that right up. Just let it spin. Alright, spun it around a little bit. Help get some of that media out of there. There's always going to be some a little bit left. So what I do now is I get a towel. Put that out on a towel. If you want to put your magnet in the plastic like that, and you collect up your magnetic, or just pull your magnet out. And the pins fall right off. See, I got all these pins right here, so I'm going to clean that up because I want to rinse off the brass a little more. These little pins get everywhere. So if you have a bigger magnet, that would do the trick. You can put it in either a piece of plastic like this or put it in a tin can, and then just pull the magnet out of the tin can and the pins will fall right off. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and put our brass back in there. This brass, these little pins get everywhere. They're down here on the pavers. There's one that you don't want to reload. Split all the way down. So that one goes away. Alright. Got them rinsed off again. Now there's probably a couple of pins still in here, but we'll find those later. Okay, now what we got to do for a dryer, what I did was I made a frame out of 2x4, and I had some aluminum, and I coated it with aluminum, painted it flat black with a high temperature grill paint that I had. Then I put a weather strip seal on it. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get that all set up. And over here we have a piece of glass from an old glass table, and we're going to use that, and this will help with our dryer. Okay, what we're going to do now is go ahead and get our dryer heated up. That way, once the shells come out of the drum, we're going to go ahead and start drying them. Okay, so we'll let this sit for a few minutes. It doesn't take long, about 10-15 minutes, and it gets heated up pretty good. Okay, and that's what we need to do. Okay, now we got our solar dryer all preheated. So we're going to spread these out a little bit. And get them to drying. Put our glass back on. There we go. And we're off and running. Now if you don't have something like this, you can use a couple of different things. You can, if you live in a hot area, you can put them on the dashboard on a towel. I would suggest putting something underneath the towel and roll up the windows in the car and put it in a sunny spot. That'll help dry them up. Or you can put them on a cookie sheet covered with aluminum foil or a towel and put them in the oven at about 180-200 degrees, and that should dry them out pretty good. We'll let these sit in the sun for probably about 2 hours or so, and it's going to get up well above 200 degrees in there, and it's going to get all that water out of there, so we shouldn't have any problems with that. Alright, okay, there we go. We've been letting them dry for a couple hours now, and we'll take a look at and see what they look like. Nice and toasty and hot. And if you've got any of the little pins left over, they usually come out now that everything's dry and they don't have that water clinging onto them. If you look down there, you can see they're nice and clean inside, nice on the outside. The important thing is, if you let them sit, they're gonna oxidize and you'll get little stains on the outside of them. So as soon as you pull them out, you want to get them dried. You don't want to leave them around wet.